Wait, before you even think about filing anything, let me ask you something. Do you know why some families reunite in under 2 years, while others watch their siblings, parents, or grown children wait almost a quarter of a century for the exact same green card process? If your answer is USCIS is just slow, stay right here, because that's only half the truth, and the real answer could change how you plan the next decade of your life. Picture spending years, sometimes even decades, before reuniting with your family in the United States. Now here's something surprising to many people. Submitting Form I-130 does not automatically mean your loved one can come to the U.S. Depending on your relationship and immigration status, the wait for a case can range from 20 months to almost 24 years for many applicants overall. So how long might your case take in 2026? In today's video, we'll unpack the newest Form I-130 processing times, explain why some families wait far longer than others, cover what happens after your petition gets approved, and most importantly, help you understand what to realistically expect before beginning your immigration journey ahead. So stay with me through the end, because we'll also answer the 2 most common questions applicants ask USCIS every single day. Let's get going. If you're planning to sponsor your spouse, parent, child, brother, or sister for a U.S. green card, then Form I-130 is one of the most important immigration forms you'll ever submit. Form I-130, officially called the petition for a qualifying relative, is the first step in most family-based immigration cases. Its purpose is straightforward. It lets USCIS confirm that a qualifying family relationship exists between the petitioner and the beneficiary within records. However, one of the biggest misunderstandings people have is believing that once Form I-130 is approved, the green card is automatically approved as well. That is not correct. Approval only verifies the family relationship. The beneficiary still needs additional immigration steps before becoming a permanent resident. And that is exactly why understanding current processing times matters so much. So, let's start with the overall timeline now. As of July 2026, Form I-130 processing times differ widely. There is not one standard wait for everyone. Several factors decide how long your petition takes. Those include your relationship to the beneficiary, whether you're a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident, which USCIS Service Center handles your petition, current USCIS workload, annual visa limits, and existing immigration backlogs overall. Immediate relatives of U.S. citizens usually move faster because they are not bound by annual visa caps. Family preference categories, however, often face much longer waits because Congress limits the number of immigrant visas issued every year under federal law. And here's a number that puts everything into perspective. The nationwide I-130 backlog has now climbed to roughly 2.36 million pending petitions, with about 1.55 million of those sitting inside the family preference categories alone, while USCIS approved only around 67,737 preference cases in all of fiscal year 2025 combined. Think about that gap for a second, because it explains almost everything you're about to hear. Here are the latest average processing ranges. Immediate relatives, including spouses, parents, and children under 21 of U.S. citizens, currently range from 20 to 72 months. F1 category, which covers unmarried children over 21 of U.S. citizens, ranges from 52 to 216 months. F3 category for married sons and daughters of U.S. citizens ranges from 64.5 to 159 months. F4 category for brothers and sisters of U.S. citizens ranges from 59.5 to 286.5 months, making it one of the longest waits overall. F2A covering spouses and unmarried children under 21 of permanent residents ranges from 52 to 129.5 months. Finally, the F2B category for unmarried adult children of permanent residents ranges from 50.5 to 153.5 months. As you can see, the gap between categories can be huge. Now let's break down each relationship separately, and stay with me here, because the next part is exactly where most petitioners get blindsided. Let's begin with spouses. Both U.S. citizens and green card holders can file Form I-130 for their husband or wife. If you're a U.S. citizen, your spouse counts as an immediate relative. That means there is no visa queue, although USCIS processing still takes time overall. Current timelines are: National Benefit Center averages 51.5 months. Service Center operations average 20 months. Some field offices may take up to 72 months to finish roughly 80% of cases. One thing worth knowing here: spouses of U.S. citizens who are already inside the country can often file Form I-130 together with Form I-485, the adjustment of status application, at the very same time. This concurrent filing strategy is one of the fastest legal paths to a green card, and it can also unlock a work permit and travel document while the case is still pending. Now, let's look at permanent residence. If you're a green card holder, your spouse falls into the F2A category. Unlike immediate relatives, these petitions depend on visa availability. Current processing shows National Benefit Center takes about 52 months. USCIS follows visa bulletin-led processing, so your timeline depends on visa availability accordingly. Field offices may take up to 129.5 months. Next, parent processing times. Only U.S. citizens can sponsor their parents. Permanent residents cannot file Form 1130 for a parent under current rules. Since parents are immediate relatives, there is no annual visa cap. Current timelines include National Benefit Center, averaging about 51.5 months overall. Service Center Operations, or SCOPS, is processing cases in around 20 months. Field offices can reach 72 months. Even though there is no visa wait, USCIS processing times can still vary based on workload and demand. Now let's talk about sibling processing in detail, because if you're sponsoring a brother or sister, this is the part of the video you cannot afford to skip. This is among the longest immigration categories overall. Only U.S. citizens can sponsor a brother or sister. Permanent residents cannot. Sibling petitions fall under the F4 family preference category, which carries annual visa limits and major backlogs. Applicants from countries like India, Mexico, and the Philippines often face even longer waits because demand is exceptionally high overall. Current timelines show the National Benefit Center taking about 59.5 months currently. USCIS follows the Visa Bulletin. Some field offices show processing times reaching 286.5 months. Even after I-130 approval, beneficiaries must wait until their priority date turns current before moving ahead. Patience is essential in this category. Now let's discuss processing for children under 21 as well. If you are a U.S. citizen filing for your child under 21, your child qualifies as an immediate relative. That means there is no visa waiting period. Current timelines include the National Benefit Center taking around 51.5 months for most cases right now. If your case is handled by USCIS, the wait may be much shorter, around 20 months. But if your petition goes to a USCIS field office, processing can stretch to 72 months total. If you're a green card holder, however, your child falls into the F2A category. That means visa availability becomes part of the process. Current timelines are the National Benefit Center averaging about 52 months currently. USCIS uses visa bulletin-led processing, so the wait varies according to visa availability overall. Field office processing may take up to 129.5 months overall. If your son or daughter is unmarried but already 21 years old or older, processing depends on your immigration status. For U.S. citizens, these petitions fall under the F1 category. Current timelines include the National Benefit Center processing most cases in about 52 months. USCIS follows the Visa Bulletin, and if your petition is handled by a USCIS field office, the wait can extend to 216 months. For green card holders, the category becomes F2B instead. Current processing includes National Benefit Center taking around 50.5 months for many cases currently. USCIS remains Visa Bulletin-led overall. Field offices can take up to 153.5 months. Applicants from countries with greater immigration demand, especially Mexico and the Philippines, may wait even longer before getting a visa number. If your son or daughter is married, only U.S. citizens can file Form I-130. permanent residents cannot sponsor married children. These petitions fall under the F3 category, which has lengthy visa backlogs. Current processing includes National Benefits Center, averaging about 64.5 months to handle cases currently. SCOPS follows visa bulletin processing. Field offices may take as long as 159 months. Again, applicants from high-demand countries may face even longer delays overall. Before we move on, here's something that almost nobody talks about, and it directly affects how fast or slow your case moves. USCIS does not offer any premium processing option for Form I-130, no matter how much you're willing to pay. So speed really does come down to your category, your service center, and how clean your paperwork is. A request for evidence alone can add several more months to your timeline, and cases that avoid an RFE entirely tend to move noticeably faster than cases that get flagged for missing documents. It's also worth knowing that a policy freeze affecting nationals of 39 countries had blocked final adjudication on certain flagged cases until a federal court struck that freeze down in June 2026, which is now helping some long-stalled petitions move forward again. Here's one of the most important sections of today's video, so don't tune out now. Many people think approval means the green card is issued automatically. That's wrong. Once USCIS approves Form I-130, the beneficiary moves into the next immigration stage. If they're already inside the U.S. and eligible, they may apply through adjustment of status. If they're outside the United States, they'll continue through consular processing at a U.S. embassy or consulate, and that path routes through the National Visa Center first, which typically adds another 6 to 12 months of document review before an interview is even scheduled. For many family preference categories, applicants must also wait until their priority date becomes current, according to the monthly visa bulletin, before they can continue. So approval is a major milestone, but it is not the last step. Let's answer 2 questions applicants ask most often, and honestly, these are the 2 questions that trip up almost everyone watching this. Does I-130 approval mean my relative can immediately travel to the United States? No. Approval only confirms the qualifying family relationship. It does not grant a green card, immigrant visa, or travel authorization. Additional immigration processing is still required. Can Form I-130 be expedited? Yes, but only in rare situations. USCIS generally approves expedite requests only for cases involving humanitarian emergencies, military deployment, or other urgent qualifying circumstances. Applicants must submit strong supporting evidence showing why expedited processing is needed. The biggest takeaway is this. Form I-130 processing times vary dramatically depending on your relationship, immigration status, USCIS workload, visa availability, and annual immigration limits. Whether you're filing for your spouse, parent, child, or sibling, understanding these timelines helps you set realistic expectations and prepare better for every stage of your immigration journey. Processing times also change during the year, so staying informed is one of the best ways to avoid surprises. And if there's one thing you take away from everything we just covered, let it be this. The families who move through this system fastest are almost never the luckiest ones. They're simply the ones who filed clean, complete paperwork and stayed informed every step of the way. And now you're one of them. Okay, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the latest U.S. immigration updates. USCIS policy changes, green card news, and visa processing timelines. And if you have questions about your own I-130 case, leave them in the comments below.